Today's video, I'd like to keep it a little bit short and I want to dissect a bit on how I beat certain addictions and how you can replicate that so you could achieve success in this aspect of your life. So for me, I probably, I've probably spent 3.5, 4 years addicted to the devil's lettuce, the greens, you know, the the evil oregano, I guess we can call it. And during the first year, you have an edible, a little bit of an edible, the cookie, and it's just wow, it's so euphoric. You see like legit images of, like, for me, I remember seeing like images of like moons and planets from the game Destiny, just like as a visualization, almost like a hallucination of some sorts. And you also see things like, I remember at the time NFTs were really popping, and I would see all these different images that, it's so how unique how the human mind under the influence of an edible can just like show up. And I don't know if everyone has this, but for me, I would see like these images just pop up, perhaps with like a 30% opacity over my actual vision, and it would just be wow. Like, it'd be so unique and cool, almost like an AI generated image, but with more humanity attached to it. So for me, it started off like that, just super euphoria, super cool. Dabbled with actual, actual bud, smoking it in a joint, some pipe, and I also had a bong with bees on it, bumblebees on it, and I called it the Scat Pack bong. And yeah, it was just great. And then, occasionally I would have a bad trip. I remember I had some of these punch bars, and these punch bars with this chocolate, dang, you're only supposed to eat like one row of squares. It's almost like it has 9 pieces. They're this little square. And if you eat the whole thing, I didn't even eat the whole thing. But my tolerance was quite low, and I ate like, let's say, 5 out of the 9 squares. And I was legit, it felt like my soul was coming out of my body. I wasn't in control. I was, I felt like I was being transported into another realm, quite literally. And you also get that laggy, kind of blurry vision, like dizziness, and you feel like you're falling out of your body. You're not even connected to your mind. You're not connected to your spinal cord. It's crazy. So I've had a few, mixed bags of trips. Most of them were good than rather than bad. And I really enjoy the edibles. Think of edibles as like a hard liquor, and then a joint is just like a beer or a hard seltzer or whatever. So I had that, and then after like 2.5 years of that, probably closer to 3, at the tail end of the greens addiction, I started to really mess with alcoholic beverages, and I'm much more ashamed of that than the greens. But yeah, that lasted probably 2 years of the unholy juice, I guess we could say. We'll call it that from now on, because I don't like to say too much, because the more you say certain things, it kind of gets programmed into your mind. So I've been having this unholy beverage, these alcoholic beverages, and for me it was like beer, vodka. Vodka was like the extent of my favorite thing to have, and I would have bottles of it every day, just perhaps a bottle a day at my worst. And at my worst, it was probably 3 to 5 months of my worst. This was at like the tail end of it. And yeah, it was just terrible. When you're addicted to greens, at most you're just like lazy, probably gain weight because you eat a lot more. But I also had a time where like it would really help me with my fitness, and it made me feel almost like connected to the exercise in a different way, in a much more enjoyable way. And that's its own rabbit hole. That's its own bad part. Like, oh, you have to smoke before you go hit the gym. You can't do an hour of cardio without smoking. But once you smoke, an hour of cardio is a breeze. It's super easy. And you kind of hype up these things in your mind. But basically, the evil, unholy juice, drinking, is what tipped me over the edge. I had lots of embarrassing moments, lots of crash outs, and yeah, I've had crash outs in front of people. I just said horrible things to people I love, things that weren't necessarily me at the time. And because of that, I feel like, in a sense, in a weird way, if you're addicted to greens, you're almost bound to be addicted for decades, because it doesn't ruin your life so much that you want to quit it, because you are a lot more careful with that. But once you get, and I don't want to promote it, but I'm just saying, switch over if you want. If this is just throwing it out there. Switch over to alcohol, and then you'll see how bad things get. Don't ruin your life entirely, which is why I would say don't do this. But once once you start messing up, you'll see it just makes you want to quit everything forever. But if you don't want to get into that, what I say is just get into something where get addicted to jealousy. I would also say get addicted to just watching videos of your favorite car on the internet or whatever, or something you want, or that body you want to have. Just look at the most jacked, shredded guys. Look at Lex Little. Watch guys like that. Watch guys like who else is guy can trade? Watch Lex Little. Watch James English. Watch what's that Mexican guy's name? Who like poses on the escalators in front of everyone, and everyone's admiring him. I don't know. Just look at the young LA guys. Look at their physiques and be like, dang. Get addicted to that feeling of like, dang, I want to have that body, and then that's gonna motivate you to go to the gym. Get addicted to look at Alex Eubank. Look at him jacked and shredded with the GT 500. Dang, I want that life. And then take actions to have something like that. Your own version of that. So yeah, I would say just get addicted to jealousy in a weird way. Not so like you just are hateful to everyone, but just so it motivates you to do something else other than continue your addictions. Because let me tell you something, bro. 5 years will pass. You'll blink and 5 years will pass. And you would have done nothing. And it's best to learn from others instead of learning the hard way yourself. But for some people, you will need to learn the hard way yourself. And yeah, that's kind of all I wanted to say.